Yep.
I can, yeah, I can hear you very clearly, Hayley. Really good. I can't hear. I can't hear Sasha. I can't hear. I can't hear. I am ready. I'm ready to show everybody lots of lovely stitching, lots of things we've got ready for you for this afternoon. So I've brought along quite a few different designs. So I'm going to show you those and show you some of the stitching. So I'll just show you a couple of things. These are on all the things that I'm showing you are on our Rowandean website. They're on the featured page, which is on your screen off the home page, and you can see all the designs on there, and they actually have 20% off, so for a short time. So I've brought a lot of things to show you. So the first one I'm just going to show you, I'll just run through them so that you can see them. This one is garden foxgloves. So this is a design that's worked on cotton. It's got some organza, but it's quite a naturalistic view. It's got foxgloves. It's got all the stitches that I love, and I'm going to demonstrate by stitching this one. But I've also brought a needle case. Sometimes it's nice to have a project that you can it's useful. All right. So this one is an elderflower needle case. So it has a different design on the back and the front. It's got some very, very easy stitching. My favourite 5 stitches are in just about every design. You've got hand-dyed felt, and you've also got some little tiny motifs that are on that you can stitch and add into your textile journal or make it into a needle case. So that's the other thing that's on featured. We've got some mini designs. So these are minis, and they're worked on our tweed. The tweed fabric is something that's really special. It's made for us here in the UK. It's made at a mill. It's probably the last mill producing fabric. So it's just a wonderful fabric on the natural colour. And then we've got hens, farmyard hens, really, really easy stitching. Just thinking of very, very simple stitching, a few beads enhancing that design. And then teasel and tansy. So I just love, sometimes it's great to use the organza and use the organza as part of a landscape. So we've got teasel and tansy here. We've got some straight stitches. We've got a background in organza, and that's a really, really pretty design. And then we've got summer apple tree. This is a great one if you haven't done a lot of stitching. It's a really impactful design. It's got a few beads, a lot of sparkle. Really, really nice project to work at. And then the final one here, I think you can see part of it. So this one is called Meadow Jewels. So this is a much larger design, but technically it's just the same stitches. The fabric's printed with the outline, and it'll take you through all the different stages, just like all our other designs. So that's one of the ones that's called Meadow Jewels. So I'm just going to take those out of the way and go back to garden foxgloves. So actually started a little bit of this one. I've got on my cotton background, and I've placed the organzas that are in the kit over the print, so you can actually see the outline quite clearly on the fabric. And then, as well as having the threads, these are on an organizer, so they're all numbered, so you know which ones to use. There's a selection of so it's quite fun to do.
Just hang fire for 1 second, because there's a couple of people saying that they've got no sound. So if somebody could just hop on and just double check and tell us. I mean, from my kind of audio mixer here, it says we've got sound on both of us. No sound from Katrina. No, see, it's on mine, it's showing sound from all of us, but it does say that the sound's just dropped out on people. Oh, it's back now. Sorry. Okay, carry on. Sorry, it's a technical nightmare today. We're having a lovely time. Yeah, apparently it's all back. You're all good now. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, great. That's great. That's great. So you're going to just go over the print, and then the magic will happen with the threads. And so it's as easy as that. Really, really, really simple to do and create the flowers. Okay, so that's a straight stitch. Use straight stitch, really. Stitches can be vertical, they can have diagonal, but really you're going to get really impact the shape of that spire of the foxgloves just by using straight stitch. And then once you've actually done that one, the next bit is to perhaps do a little bit of the leaves, and I'll just show you one of the leaves. I'm just going to take the thread to the back, just fasten that off, and don't worry about the back. That's one of the things that I think people think the back should be as good as the front. If you like that, fine, but I just think enjoy the stitching. The stitching is relaxing to do, and you can create some magical designs just with a few stitches. So I'm just going to change my thread there. So again, this is straight stitch, and I'm using a little bit of the wool here just to create one of the leaves. Okay, so I'll just start across here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the thread, and I'm just going to go across the surface of the fabric, and I'm actually bringing the needle up further down, so it's almost creating more padding on the front and the back. So I'm working across the surface. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't, you know, I think people worry that, you know, it has to be perfect stitching. doesn't really, just enjoy the threads and the colours. And that's going to fill up one of the leaves. And keep the thread about halfway up the needle. So everything's in your design. You'll get the beads, you'll get the organzas, you'll get the needles, both kinds of needles. You'll get instructions of the stitches, and you can always look those up on our YouTube channel as well. So you're just going to take those and you'll see the slight color change and texture. So the texture is created by using the different wools and the different cottons. So that's going to give you a leaf. And then once you've actually completed all your leaves, you're then going to go on to one of my favorite weeds, and that's a cow parsley. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the cow parsley now in a French knot. So I'm just going to take the thread. You can use the thread 6 strands or 3 strands. I'm just going to thread that through there. And in the instructions, it'll tell you exactly where to do. Oh, that's a different sound. I'm just going to start that again. In fact, I'll just split that thread and take that. And if you split the thread into 3, I'll just take a little bit of that. And I was going to thread the needle, and I'm going to do a couple of French knots here. So this is, I think, my favorite stitch. It's something that's really, really easy to do. It creates texture, and I'm just going to have a go at doing a little bit of a French knot. So the French knots are really, really easy to do, and that's why it's quite good if you've got your work in a hoop. It keeps the fabric taut. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of the thread and hold it above the surface, a couple of centimeters, fairly taut, and then you're going to go around once, twice, and as you tilt the needle, point down, not into the same hole, just sort of one thread over, and as you push the needle into the fabric, you can tighten the thread. And that the secret is to keep that bit fairly tight so that the needle doesn't twizzle and the threads are kept around that needle. As you pull the thread through, then don't be tempted to guide the thread. Just let it go through the fabric and it'll twist itself into shape. So you're only going to go around once or twice, no more. If you want the French knot to be bigger, then you just make the thread thicker. So you're just going to go around once, twice, and then into the fabric, tighten the thread, and then as you pull it through, then that's just going to give you a really nice French knot and quite textural. So as well as the French knots, you're going to fill those all the way across with a mixture of beads as well. So as you go through your design, you'll try out the different stitches. There's a couple of French knots there to represent foxgloves as well. So I'm just going to show you a loopy French knot. This is a different part of the design, but if I do one of those now, just to show you how to do that. So this one, instead of being really careful about winding the thread around the needle, you're just going to leave that fairly loose, exactly the same process, and it's going to be a little bit more textured and loopy. So a loopy French knot's great to create a little bit of texture in your design in the lower area. So it's not one that's gone wrong, it's one that's you're making texture with the thread. Really, really good to do. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to show you is a little bit of using organza. So we're using organza here just to create a little bit of texture. So it's quite a nice way of getting texture into your work. Part of the organza is creating the background. And then I'm just going to cut a little square of organza. And then I'm just going to fold it into quarters, and then I'm just going to fold it into a cone shape, and then I'm just going to use a pin to pin that on. So that's one way of creating some texture in the foreground, and then just secure it with a little bit of a stitch. Or the other way to create organza, sort of a flower, I'm just going to take one strand of the organza, the thread, and then I'm just going to place that in the needle, and then I'm going to take the fabric, and this time I'm going to cut a little strip of the organza, all about a centimetre wide, just the width of the pieces of organza that are in your kit. And then you just take the little piece. This time you do need a knot, and then you're just going to take the organza and you're just going to do a little running stitch all the way down the middle of the fabric. And then once you get to the end, like so, you've just got just make sure you have got a knot. And then you're just going to pull the thread, and it's just going to gather up into a flower. And then just press all the fabric between your finger, and then just a couple of stitches. Now, probably not the best choice is white, but it means you can see the stitching. And then you've got your little bit of a flower, and then you can trim the threads and just make it slightly less textured. And then you take the little bit of the flower, and then you're just going to secure that. Let's place that on here. So you just take the organza and then secure it just with a couple of stitches. Probably better in an orange thread. And that's going to be a little bit of texture. So if we go back to the picture, you've got the straight stitching here, you've got a few beads, you've got some French knots, and then you've got some little flowers, little tiny flowers and texture. So you can build up the design. It's very different to a counter method of stitching. So you can add more French knots, you can add more beads, you can really develop the design. And as you're covering the surface, there's no counting, and it's just a lovely design to do. So I'm just going to move on to a different type.
I have everybody now, so the pressure's off a little bit. So if you want to, I mean, you're all very much welcome to continue and do another demo if you want to, Katrina. But if you want to save them for later, that's also fine too. It is your call.
Okay, I can. If Sasha wants to start her demo, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay, that's no problem. I'm gonna fingers crossed here. Oh, where's she gone? Hang on. Oh, there she is. Phew! There she is. I've missed myself off though. Bear with, callers. Bear with. Katrina, it's still on you for just a second. So if you could just do a tiny demo, maybe something about when you want to sort the backs out or something like that. I'll just fix one more thing and then we'll be right with you.
Okay, I'm just going to do a little stitch here. So in the 5 stitches that I just love, French knot, top of the list, and then I do like fly stitch, all right, which is another stitch, and I love lazy daisies. So I'm just going to show you a couple of those. They are in the design, but they're very, very easy to do. So this one is called fly stitch, and you can start the thread and then you insert the needle opposite, and you bring the needle towards yourself, tuck the thread under the needle, and then as you start to pull that, it forms like a V. And then the length of this can be any length. You know, if you're can be a plant. It's not a real plant, but it's just going to add texture. So where you place the needle determines how wide the stitch is, and then you bring the needle towards yourself, and those you can angle that, and it looks great. It looks really fabulous if it's part of a landscape, gives it a little bit of texture. But there again, as well as having a fly stitch, you can make it with a short stem, and you can add that as texture into your work. So it's a really, really nice way of adding a little bit of texture. You can make it into plants, all kinds of things. Really, really good. And then I'm just going to show you where you can use that. So you can use that if we go back to here, and then we're looking inside the needle case. We've got fly stitch, and this is fly stitch on this one here. So it's exactly the same as I've just done with a short stem, and you can fill a whole area in. You can make the stitching, join it into a continuous shape, as well as doing individual ones. So it's a really, really nice way of using different stitches. And then as we go through this design, you can see that we've got a few French knots there, really, really easy to do. A couple of lazy daisies, which we can show you, and then a couple of French knots. So in this kind of design, all the threads, all the sort of materials are there. So when you're looking at our website, so on that featured page, you'll see the kits at the top for the equipment. You don't need much equipment. You've got a couple of hoops, a couple of scissors, maybe some pins, but you've got everything in your kit that you need to complete the project. I'm just going to reach across and get the actual design to show you. So this one here, this is what you actually get as part of your design for the needle case. Just put that out of the way. So the fabric is printed with the outline, so you've got a starting point, and then you've got everything else, all the instructions for these little bits, which are the pages inside your book, and then this one here that turns into the actual needle case itself. So you've got the front and the back, you've got the outline of the print, so it's screen printed onto the fabric. Really, really easy to do it. And it's a guide. There's not every line on the fabric. You've got just enough to give you that support as to get those shapes onto the fabric and stitch them using all the different colours and combinations. So I'm just taking my label off there. And then, so when you actually purchase a kit, this is what it looks like. So it looks like, and you'll find that in your design, you'll get all the materials, everything in there to complete your design. So you'll have a fabulous collection of beads. Too many. Ted always says I put far too many beads in, but you know what? I like beads. I like lots of texture. So that you get all the combinations of colours to create. I know that is a lot. Well, you can use them on different pages and you can use them in other projects, but I just love beads and sequins. So you get those, and then you get all the colours for the design. You get the organzas. Again, the organzas, you get lots of organzas in case you want to embellish different pages. You've got the fabric that's printed. You've got the hand-dyed felt. You've got the backing fabric for the actual design. And then you've got step-by-step instructions. So it'll give you all the details in your kit, and it'll show you the stages and the various plans. So the little bits at the top are for the pages, and the other half of the design is for the needle case itself. And I think it looks like great as could be like a textile journal, could be a needle case, or I have seen a couple of other people and they put them into cards, but I think it's quite nice to have something that you can keep all your needles, all your pins, etc. Ready. Because the thing about this kind of stitching, it's quite transportable. You can be sitting in the garden. You can really, you don't need lots of equipment. Just enjoy. It's a relaxing hobby, and just brilliant to do.
Splendid. Let me go and find everybody else. Thank you so much for that, Katrina, because
you're welcome.
Let's just say it's been challenging today. So the thing is, these guys can see me desperately clicking buttons and unplugging stuff and putting stuff back in and all the rest of it. I mean, come back studio, all is forgiven. I know it's expensive to do, but it's so much less stressful. Well, yes and no, because it's a different kind of stress. But never mind. Hello, everybody. So Katrina apparently has just had a normal week. Sarah, how's your week been?
It's been a busy week. It's been a busy 2 weeks.
You've got a bit of feedback, my love. You might need to turn something down somewhere.
Okay, 2 seconds.
That's fine. Well, I'll chat to Sasha then while you're turning things down. Sasha?
Hey.
How's your week been?
Yeah, busy. Busy. It's Easter half term, so obviously we're dealing with about 100 kids a day over at the club.
No.
So, yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. Not, normal things. Sick.
Oh no.
Diarrhea. Kids fighting. It's all great stuff.
I could deal with the fighting, but I used to have a pottery painting shop, and there used to be kids' birthday parties in there all the time, and it's the sick. I just can't handle it. I'm one of those people. As soon as they see it, then they're basically they're joining in. So as soon as
it doesn't bother me.
Even if somebody else saw a kid that was ill, I would be put straight in the cupboard. Literally, they would put me in the cupboard until it was all cleaned up and gone, because otherwise I would just be making it 100 times worse.
Can't handle it. Although we did have cows on the field last half term.
Oh.
So we had like 50, 60 kids playing football on the field, and the cows escaped from the field behind. So where our top club is, we've got a massive, great big field and a growing garden at the bottom. It's huge, it's lovely. But the cows got through that field and onto the field where the kids were playing football. So when you start looking at your safeguarding and your risk assessments,
you've got a risk assessment for escaped cows?
Yeah, escaped cows running on a field was not the one that I thought of actually when I was doing risk assessments for football. So, and there were 6 of them, and there was Tim and Damo that run the football, and because I'm about as useless as a chocolate teapot at the moment with my ankle, I'm stood on top of a boulder trying not to get knocked over by a cow as the cow were doing the loop. But there we go. So always think outside the box.
Absolutely. Is that fix the feed? Sorry, can I just check? Is that fix the feedback?
It has, my lovely, it has. So you've had a super busy week.
Excellent. I've had, yes, a very busy week. So we did 3 white gecko retreats back to back. So 70 odd women in total. And then I left Sarah Jane and Gail from Endless Thread there on yesterday to travel up. And then we did the Secret Sewing Club retreat. So we had another massive group of ladies then. So yeah, it's been a little busy. I need some matchsticks.
Yes, I know. Look at the bags. We've both got them, Sarah. We've both got them.
There's a lot of concealer.
Yesterday was brilliant. We had a lovely time.
Yeah.
The ladies who came did 4 classes within a day. So they did 2 in the morning with Anthea and Nicola, and then they did 2 in the afternoon with me and Sarah. And it was basically the ladies all stayed put, and we just kind of all shuffled between the rooms. Very funny. But yeah, there was some good stuff. And amazing really how much they managed to get through in a day. It was absolutely amazing. It was a little bit relentless,
it was such a fun day. So nice to put some faces to names and stuff as well, and things, and also catch up with people we knew that we hadn't seen for ages. So yeah, it was really, really lovely day. Incredible day. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
I was very glad for my bed last night though, after being away for 10 days teaching. So it was a bit
I was only away for the day, but it was a long day. And yes, I was ready for my bed last night as well. Because sometimes I'm up north and Matt's down south. We watch things like we like to call separate but together. So we'll watch the same thing, we'll start it at the same time, but we'll watch it kind of separately and then like ring each other afterwards. Oh, I've got some messages coming in about the retreats, which I'll do those in a minute.
Oh.
And we started watching, I think it was Lincoln Lawyer, and we got through the first one and I was like, brilliant, okay, excellent. He says, do you want to do another one? And I'm like, oh, it's only 10 o'clock. Yeah, no problem, let's do another one. I was maybe 15 minutes in, I had to watch the rest this morning.
It's when you fall asleep on the sofa and then you wake up and it's a bit drool because you've been like...
No, I did have the foresight to go and watch the second one in bed, so if I fell asleep then it didn't matter.
I tend to do that whole thing where I start watching Emmerdale and then I must wake up and it's on something like a cooking programme or something completely different, and I'm thinking, what's happened there? Where have I missed? What's going on? Just a minute ago we were in the Woolpack, and now we're in somewhere else bizarre in Gordon Ramsay's shouting. So yeah, that's often what happens.
So you're sitting there thinking, what's Gordon Ramsay doing in the Woolpack?
Yeah,
I am definitely running on caffeine today. That is for sure.
Okay. Did you get a day off
I think
tomorrow?
it's like my 12th cup of coffee today. I'm like,
Can you get a day off tomorrow, or you're back in the shop?
no, because I'm getting ready for Sewing Street, because we've got Sewing Street on Saturday. So
Yes, I know.
and there's orders galore come through and stuff on the website. So yeah, it's
Full of busy.
no
Full
day
of busy.
off tomorrow.
So
Sleep is for the weak. It's fine.
well, exactly. We can do all the sleeping later. We've just got to power through. So I've got a couple of messages from Jane. She was at the retreat and she said all the classes were amazing. And she's saying Hayley, she was the one with the mini patchwork panel, because the class that we did, as a message about yours as well, Sarah, so I'm coming to that in a second. But the class that we did was, we took one of the patchwork panels or the stained glass panels. Everybody got to pick their own, so they got one that they wanted. And then we quilted them. So we quilted the panel as much as we could get done in about 45 minutes, and then put borders on them, which just completely finishes them and completely changes them. So that was excellent. And she says, Sarah, yours is, thank you for all the patience with your project.
Oh, you're very welcome.
She was sitting at the back, because I know you did your kind of FPP ones.
Yeah.
And she says she needs the panel that you are doing on Sewing Street. Is that have you got to do a little bit of an exclusive on that, or is it already on the website?
That one is being launched on Saturday on Sewing Street, but it will be available on our website after the show on Sewing Street.
Perfect.
So,
perfect.
but yes, yeah, I'm so thrilled with that one. It's come out. You know, when you've got a picture in your mind of what you want something to be, and then it actually translates and it works. So yeah, you'll all have to tune in on Saturday.
I think Katrina will get that, because I imagine with yours especially, there's kind of what you've got in your mind. Or do you just stitch them first and then make the pattern afterwards?
Sometimes I do both, but sometimes I just love to stitch, and I'll just see what happens as I'm going along. I've got a little bit in my mind of what I'm going to do. And then I draw it, and then I'll do the actual finished design after that. So I like to play with the threads first and do exciting projects and things.
As we've been talking about this and designing things, I'm going to give you a sneaky peek of what's on our Sewing Street as well. See those? We've got 3 half square triangle patterns coming. All just 2 charm packs, but we've got 3 coming together. We're very excited. Because our lovely Heather, who's one of our local ladies who does quite a lot of samples for us, she's stitched up a sample in each colourway, and they look amazing. So very, very happy, very, very excited about that. Because we've got the
Sasha's
squash
demoing, yeah, I was going to say, while Sasha's demoing, I will dig out the quilt, actually, if anybody wants to see it, because I'm really pretty.
With that in mind, I saw you getting stuff ready there. So are you ready, Sasha?
I am ready.
Okay, we shall pass it over to you then. Oh, you're ready. I haven't.
Nothing else
I
is
haven't.
ready.
No. Oh my God. Today it's been an uphill battle today. I'm not going to lie, but we've
Sometimes
persevered.
the tech just doesn't want to
we're
work.
here. Do you know what? We've persevered. We're here. Thank you ever so much, ladies, for your patience. But yes, now I am ready for you, Sasha, and I shall switch it over to you.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, how are we all doing? So, a couple of little updates for you. Got the new handbag stabilizer bottoms in, which are great for your storage and things like that. So anything that requires a bit more of a solid bottom, I'm going to show you now. I don't know if you can see this. So it's got like bubbles on the top, and it's really lovely. You can cut through it really well. But basically this goes as a bag bottom or rucksack bottom, or inside your storage, anything like that you can use it for. And it is really easy to cut, either with rotary cutters, scissors, doesn't matter which. And it has been put on the website today, and you are getting sort of, it's about half a meter by half a meter, so you're getting a really nice big square of it. How I use it is, you can actually, even though it's quite firm, you can actually fold it really well to actually put it in through the hole if you wanted to do a turn through. I've been playing around with it for quite a while now, and what I like about it is it doesn't actually crease. It really does work well. And I quite like to do it where I make like a pillowcase slip for it, or something like that. So then, you know what it's like, the bag bottom, you know, in the bottom of our handbag, it gets a little bit grubby at times, things like that. So it means if I do like a pillowcase opening, it means that I can take that off, I can then chuck it in the wash, and then I can pop this back in. It is, as you can see, it is flexible, but it just gives an extra bit of something. So that's brand new. That's on the website. Now, if you go to the waddings and interfacing section, you will see it on there under handbag bottoms. I think I put, it's a really ingenious name. Ingenious name. I couldn't think of anything better, to be quite honest. So yeah, it's on there, brand new. What we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at the handbag, the bag corner one that I've done. Now, this follows on from the original ruler that we did, and I'm going to show you a few things that you can do with this. So as you can see on here, you've got your little outlines. So this one is your 2-inch, and then we've got the 3-inch box bottom. Just trying to get that so it's not reflecting so much, but unfortunately. And use your chalk marker. Chalk markers are available on the website as well, and the chalk markers work really well with this. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do different size box bottoms as well, because again, the whole thing about my rulers is they are for anybody that struggles a little bit with measuring or things like that. Sometimes we just want to pick something up and just go with it. And so that's what I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to move you down so you can see that a little bit better. So what actually happens with this is, if I wanted, for example, to do my 3-inch box bottom, I will put that like so, although it's probably better. Let me just grab a plainer piece of fabric a second, so you can actually see, because this is the one that I'm going to use for my Easter basket that we're going to do in a second, and I want you to be able to see. So that's a bit better. There we go. So if I wanted to do a 3-inch box bottom on this bag box corner one, we've got this beautiful curve as well, and I really wanted to add that because sometimes doing a curve for the front of a purse or something like that can be a little bit wonky both sides. If you're trying to draw it by freehand, it just doesn't work particularly well. So we've got a really, really nice curve on here. Now this is the chalk marker that I was talking about, and these fit through, and you've got these dashes, and you're just going to pop your chalk marker through, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to see this because it is quite bright in here today, unfortunately. Here we go. So that is your 3-inch box bottom. Now, if I wanted to do a 2-inch box bottom, I would go to the 2-inch. But what if I wanted to do, there we go, so that's the 2-inch. What if I wanted to do a 2.5-inch box bottom? So with these notches, all I'm going to do is I'm going to move it off of the fabric, 2 notches and 2 notches off the bottom there. I'm just going to move it along like so. Now let's have a look, maybe 1. Should we go 1? Yeah. Do I want to go 1 or do I want to go a little bit more than that? There we go. So I'm going to go 2.5. So basically I'm just knocking one of the notches off of the edge of the fabric. I'm not having to do no actual measuring. I'm just counting how many notches there are and then taking that off. What if I wanted to do 1.5? So for example, exactly the same way, I'm going to bring that down like so. Maybe I want to go there actually. And there we go. We've got a 1.5 inch one as well. So that gives you straight away your 4 different sizes. So just in case people got a little bit confused about how the actual notches and how you measured different size box bottoms, and normally most people do sort of up to 3-inch box bottoms depending on what type of bag or what type of rucksack or anything like that is. I'm going to show you this curve as well. So obviously again we've got that really, really nice curve. So again, for both sides it works really, really well to do a really nice even curve. Now, as you will also see on here, we have lots and lots of different holes and lots of different ways to be able to make different size binding. Now it can be bias binding for your dressmaking, it can be just normal straight binding, and again it's a really, really easy way to make your binding because all you're doing is you're threading your fabric through one into the other, pulling it through and pressing, and it's really, really quick and easy. So again, you're not having to worry about getting those folds in the right correct, you know, not having to measure, not having to worry about those folds going in the correct places. So for those we have got let me have a look, we've got our 1.5 inch binding, we've got 1.25, we've got a 1 inch, we've got a 3/4 inch, and we've got a 1/2 inch as well binding. So really, really fine dressmaking and fine binding that you need, you can use this for. Now obviously when we do quilts we tend to use some people use 2 inches, some people use 2.25, some people use 2.5. I haven't included that on there because normally that's what we cut the majority of the time. So like with me on my ruler it's actually marked, so I know with my washi tape where I'm going to go to. I wanted different size ones. Say if I'm doing something like a wall hanging and it doesn't need as thick a binding, okay, that's when I would come to this and I would think, right, I'm going to do my 1.5 inch binding. Maybe if I was doing a blouse, I'd only want a 1.25 inch binding. So again, I would use it for that. So that's available on the website as well. Right, let me just, sorry, Facebook was having a bit of a moment then. I flicked in and flicked out. So first things that we're going to do, I'm going to just make a really easy. We're going to get it started, and then when we come back to me later on, we will finish it off. So I have got 13 inches by 11 inches. Now I've got a outside, I've got a inner fabric, and I've got some wadding as well. Now it really does depend on what you want inside, whether you want the basket to stand up, as we know, whether we don't. But I'm going to be using a bit of the handbag base to pop in the bottom, because I want mine to be a basket on the table, so I can put Easter eggs and things in. So I want it to be a little bit more stable. Could use enough on, but I would still use some of this as well. It's got a really nice tactile feel to it. I love that. I love when things are a little bit more tactile. It is really nice to feel, because you've got a really smooth side, and then you've got a really nice bobbly side. Now I have sewn through this. It's no problem to sew through this. I have used a Microtex Sharps needle, or a Sharps needle, whatever brand you want to use, and I've just taken it slowly, to be quite honest. But what I would recommend is to use the envelope back technique to make almost like a pillowcase for it, and then you can, as I say, take it out, wash it, because the bottoms of the bags do get really dirty. So first things first, I'm going to take my boxed corner. Now I'm just working out how big I want to do. I think I'm going to do mine 2.5 inches on this one. I think I want to do that, or do I want to do it as 3? Do you know what? Let's do it at 3, because I do want it to be a little bit. I want to be able to pop bits and pieces in it. I don't want it to be really tall. I want it to be a little bit flatter. Let me use this one a second. So because I've got yellow chalk in, obviously I can't quite see on a blue fabric with yellow on it, which was a pretty rookie mistake on that. But it's quicker than changing the. There we go. And then again, so as you can see, as I'm doing it, I've got my corner here, and I've always got my curve coming towards the inside. So again, it's not hard to figure out. Again, visually, it's really easy to use. I'm really sorry if you can hear the background noise. In a second, I will shut the window. It's an absolutely beautiful day. So what I am going to do, I've got some bits of wadding. I've got my lining, and I have got like so, and I'm just going to cut my box bottom squares out. Like so. So that is the shape that you are going to have. And the other thing that we are going to do as well is I want to make sure that I'm going to show you as well how I'm going to cut my other pieces of fabric. Let me just grab because that was what I wanted to show you. Hold on. Because the question that we get the most is about cutting. And so I just wanted to show you basically how I go about doing my, let me just make sure. So I've got 11, and I think I said it was by 13, didn't I? So I want to show you how, from a fat quarter, how I would go about cutting that. It's really, it really surprises me how people are so scared of, I just want you to be able to see the whole thing, how people are so scared of cutting fabrics with a rotary cutter. So I'm just going to show you, this is a fat quarter. So if you do buy fat quarters or half meters from a shop, it goes exactly the same way. Okay, so I've got my folded, and I'm going to line it up on my board. Now I know that my 13 is here. So I think if I remember correctly, I said 11 by 13. So that is my 13 line. I'll just grab my, and again with your rotary cutter you will see that with my hand I'm pressing quite firmly on the ruler because I don't want the ruler to move. If you prefer standing up, stand up, okay, but you're always pushing away from you. So that is your 13, and then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to go the other way, and I'm going to do my 11, and I'm going to show you again on the other part as well, because it's really important for you to see how we do the cutting, especially if you're a bit beginner. So that is our piece of fabric that is cut to the correct size. Now what I will say, for example, if I wanted to do 5-inch squares, what I would do is I would take my piece of fabric, I would cut a 5-inch strip like so, and then I would lay this out, and then I would subcut it into 5-inch pieces. Does that make sense to everybody? I know it's the biggest question we always get is about cutting, and I just wanted to show you really quickly. So you've got 5-inch squares. So I just wanted to show you that again. So it was working with you because I know that's one of the biggest questions we get. So again, I'm going to take the fat quarter, I'm going to open it out. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut that 13 inches. I'm going to cut that like so. And some people prefer to stand to cut, and that is absolutely fine. If I'm doing an awful lot of cutting, I do tend to stand. So I want to make sure. And then did I say 11? I think I did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did say 11. It's all right. I do have some questions / comments for you as well.
Oh, lovely.
Just bear with me 1 second, because obviously we're live on both the craft store and Secret Sewing Club at the same time, so I'm hopping about between the two, but that is okay because we can get them. So Patricia Handsaka or Handsaka, I'm not sure which way around that is. I should have asked yesterday because she was one of our ladies that was on the retreat yesterday. She says she wants, talking about you falling asleep in things, she once fell asleep watching the telly and woke up and there was a war film on. She thought they were under fire.
Something that I would so do.
Yeah. Paula saying, lovely to see you here. And then let me quickly nip onto the other one, as I am hopping between them. I know there was another question for you somewhere else. And there was a few people, again, being late to the party.
Well, we can't say, because we were late to the party, weren't we? I mean, were.
Yes. I mean, that is... Well, do you know what? I'm not even going to blame me. I'm totally blaming Microsoft for that one.
I know somebody that I can have a little chat to, you know, if we've got a complaint about Microsoft.
Can we? Can we get him on after this? Because
actually, I think you need a bit of tech support, and I've got
some words to say about the latest update. Hang on, I am just quickly scanning the comments to try and find the other one that I had to pass on to you. So just carry on. I'll be back with you in a second.
So again, really quick and easy, cutting that boxed corner. Now I know that the other thing that people, the two things that I get asked for more than anything that I use is the purple headed pins. Yes, I am still waiting for them, some more to come. They won't be long. I am told that they won't be long. So my purple headed pins that I use all the time, they will be coming back in. And then the other one is the Prim chalk marker. You can get the leads for them as well, so they are refillable, which is always really good. Right, so now I've shown you that bit of cutting. I hope that was sort of clear for everybody, because I know we do get asked about it an awful lot, and I think that we sometimes forget that there are people out there that just maybe are just starting out. Or, you know, one lady that I met the other day, she has used scissors for patchwork and quilting since she started about 10 years ago, and she's not brave enough to use a rotary cutter. And I gave her some instruction, and I said to her the best way to do it, and she's like, why haven't I done this before? You know, there's so many different rotary cutters on the market, and I'm sure Sarah and Hayley will probably both have some on their website, so check out what they've got. But there are so many different ones. So this one, cheap and cheerful, you can just retract the blade yourself. I've also got this brand new one that Prim has sent me to do some sampling with, and again it's got like an ergonomic ergodynamic
one, isn't it?
It is, and actually it's really nice because this is completely safe, and it has this amazing tool that you take out and in to be able to remove the blade, so it makes it really nice. So I'm trialing that at the moment.
While you've got them there, if anybody's got this, is between... Sorry, I'm just going to unmute Sarah as well, so I can speak to her at the same time. If any of you guys have got dull or blunt rotary sharpener blades, will you save them for me? Because we've got another batch of the sharpeners coming in, and I've sharpened all of mine.
Oh, definitely.
Right, we'll come back to that later then. Sarah's talking to me, but you guys can't. Well, Sasha can hear her, but you guys at home can't hear. I'll ask this question again when we're all together, because I have a solution for you.
Perfect. Right, so the next thing that you're going to do is you have got your outside with your wadding, and you can do a bit of cross hatch quilting if you want to, a little bit of quilting, do what you want to do, absolutely fine. And then the what we're going to do on the next part is we are going to join everything together, because I think I've been talking far too long now. And my brace, because have you noticed, ladies, I've got my braces on now, my train track. Yeah, stop eating, Sarah. I can't eat anything. No, I can't literally eat anything at the moment. It's a nightmare.
Well,
Thank you.
yeah, me and Sarah will sort you out. There's been chocolate biscuits and all sorts in here. So yes, just before I was speaking to Sasha about getting some blunt blades. So if you have got them, girls, save them up for me.
Definitely.
We had them 2 or 3 years ago, and there were the little purple things that you roll back and forth to sharpen the blades. They're brilliant. So yes, save those for me, because I will be needing them. What snacks have you
I've got loads left over from the retreat.
So Alexandra has said she loves her sharpener that she bought from you, Hayley, and that's on Facebook.
Oh, they're a brilliant gadget, and it's just taken us a while to get them back in, but we have got a shipment on the way. So if you can save me your dead ones, that would be not everybody's home. That would be too many dead rotary cutter blades. Just imagine getting all these blunt blades in the post.
Boxes and boxes, and you're suddenly overrun with blunt blades.
Maybe start a sharpening service where we just send them back again. Sharpen, send them back. No, right, who's next? Sarah is next. I've went and got all the things, because I do have a few things, because we have a Craft Yourself City birthday week which ends tomorrow, and there's 11% off everything on our website at the minute. And I also wanted to share with you that I had sort of a weekend off last weekend, so I actually got to sew something for me, not because I had to do a sample for something, not because I had a deadline. I actually got to sew something for
Miracle.
me. Do you want to see what I sewed?
Yes.
Yes.
I recovered Ted. This is Ted. He's my bear from when I was small, still small. But I did get a chance to recover him. That's his original eye, and then he's lost the other one, so I made him a little winky eye.
A little what?
A little winky eye. See?
Oh.
An eye that is winking.
A wink.
Yeah, I didn't get the whole of that. I got part of that sentence. And it sounded very bizarre that you...
No, why would you want that? Come on, Sasha.
Well, I don't know, but it came across that you made your bear a winky.
No,
and it was
he's got one little, because he lost an eye a lot of years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, so I actually got to sew something for me, which I was very happy about. Very happy about. So yeah, this is Ted.
It makes a change. Absolutely makes a change. Can't remember the last time I did my stuff.
I can't. Do you know, I've got a kit, do you know, Sarah, I got a kit that I bought from you ages and ages ago, and I kept thinking, and I think it was at Festival a couple of years ago, it was like a Moda one, and it was really cute. And then obviously Amelia having Adley, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to make that for Adley. It's not even for me, it's for my new grandson, and I still haven't. No chance.
Katrina, then, what was the last time you sewed something for you?
I can't remember. I haven't sewn, well, I mean, stitching all the time, but for me, I've done a couple of things for our granddaughters, and just a little bit of stitching for them to give to them.
Do you know what?
I did some bunting as well for Sunday, all those sort of things.
Oh yeah,
the egg hunt and all the rest of it on Saturday.
I think
So
actually all of the tutors that are on Secret Sewing Club, wouldn't it be great if we actually did like one evening every 3 months or something where we actually got together and did a bit of us sewing and just a chat, you know, where it doesn't matter what we say, it doesn't matter what we do, we can actually just do a bit of sewing for us.
I mean,
there would be no sewing, there would be gin and tonics. Come off it.
Yeah, okay, Sarah, but we could make out to everybody we're doing a bit of sewing. Like I say, white wine for light.
We can pretend. All right, sorry, definitely sewing. Definitely sewing.
Red wine for dark
Definitely
colours.
sewing.
It'd be fine.
I can see in your background, young lady, Mrs. Sarah, is that your sneaky sewing streak quilt?
That's the new one. That's the new one. So this will be going on.
Let me just switch you full screen, and then you can talk about that.
Okay.
And do some demos. Yeah. We'll see you other guys in just a sec.
Okie doke. Hi. Thank you. So it's still just me. Yeah. So obviously we've been doing the little foundation fabric piecing panels for a little while now. We started off with like the really simple, the pineapple and the twisted log cabin, and then we had the table runner, which was beautiful. So that sold out on Sewing Street last time. We have got a few left on our website, but we've done a new one. So this is the new one. I hung it up behind me really quickly. You don't get the fabrics with these. It's just the panel that you're buying. But you've got 6 designs on there, and they are big. They are 18 inches. No, they're more than 18 inches square. Hang on, I'm going to double check because I can't remember. Yeah, no, they are. They're 18 inches square, and there's 6 designs. So I've put them together just as a little quilt. But if you wanted a bigger quilt, you just add more panels. You make up more blocks. Or they 6 cushions, or project wallets, or the fronts of bags, or whatever. You know, they don't have to be a quilt. But I'm really pleased with it. I used the new Macawa fabric, the nautical one, which I can't remember the name of. It is on our website. Yeah, we popped that together. Well, I popped it together while I was on retreat. In between teaching classes, I was busy making blocks. So yeah, that's going on site, and I think it's on the 9 o'clock show. They've got a lot of stock, but if it's anything like the table runners, they might not last very long. But I'm hoping that we should have some left to put on our own website as well. Right, I'm going to show you some bits that I've got for you. A couple of bits are on offer, and a couple of bits that are absolutely brand new. And then we're going to do a little demo, something you can use some of the new stuff with to do. As always, it's all on our website, whitegeckocraftlounge.co.uk, and in the shop section there is a whole section there that is just called Secret Sewing Club, and everything I'm going to show you is in that section. Okay, the first 2 things I'm going to show you are on offer, because I haven't got many of them left, and I want to clear them so that I can get the new ones out. So if I come over to here, Moda scrap packs, I think we've got about 15 left in the shop, and that is it. They're normally £15 each. The ones that are left are £10, okay? And once they are gone, I've got a whole new batch, which will be like this season's designs coming in this week. So I'm just clearing out the old ones. They're now £10 each. I mean, that you're still getting your £0.5 of fabric. They are really wide, these ones. The ones I picked up are, what's that going to be? Yeah, about 3¼ inches wide, the strips on these. Obviously, it's lucky dip. I can't say exactly what you're going to get in each one. It's done by weight, but it's all your scrap packs. You guys love the scrap packs. They go really quickly, but I think I've got about 15 left, if that, 10, 15 left. So those are down to £10. The other thing I've produced is our own scrap packs as well. So not quite so glamorous, our scrap packs. However, they are incredibly useful. You get 2 meters of fabric by weight. So you're getting 12.5 ounces, which is 2 meters of fabric by weight. And you've got all sorts. There's bits of Liberty in there. There's bits of Robert Kaufman. There's some, I mean, it's all 100% cotton. Everything's 100% cotton. There's some big pieces in there. There's small pieces in there. You can see sometimes you're getting some really big pieces. Other, you know, I mean, that's almost a fat quarter in there. It's a huge piece of fabric. Other times it will be the odd jelly roll strip, the odd mini charm thing. So it is done by weight. You can see, like in this one, you've got some smaller pieces like this. Okay, these are great for scrappy quilts. They're great for a plique because you're getting, you know, little bits of lots of different colours, and then you're getting bigger pieces as well. Like they are normally £8. I can't remember quite how much they are, but I think they're down to 5. I can't remember, they're 5 or 6, but they're definitely 5 or 6. I can't remember what I've done it as that. I've been a busy bunny, but those are done by weight. They're ones that we put together. So those, again, I think there's about 15 of those left. There's not that many. So So those are both reduced items. And then I wanted to show you some stuff that while we're away on retreat, this all got delivered to my house because the shop was shut. So I walked in last night and all these beautiful boxes were waiting for me, which was very exciting. And I've got 3 new ranges to show you. So this is called Bee Garden by, I always want to say ginger beer. It's not ginger beer. It's ginger beer, I think it is. But ginger beer. It's beautiful. There is so much. I don't know if I can just move the light a little bit. I don't know if you'll see, but it's got all gold metallic accents on it. It's really, really pretty. It's really shiny. You've got all sorts of stunning colours in there. You're going right the way through these sort of blacks. You've got florals all the way through to sort of like taupey colours. Little florals there. Little tiny gold bee on that is just yummy. Again, you've got little butterflies and moths in there through those greens. Love that one. Absolutely love that little daffodil. I get that nice and close for you. See the daffodil, and again you've got all those beautiful gold accents on there. So you're through your greens, through sort of your mustardy yellows with your bee patterns and all on it. Little tiny bit of coral in there which really lifts it. It's so pretty. Got those daffodils again all the way through. Okay, and we've got those in layer cakes, charm hacks, and jelly rolls. If I just do that with the jelly, you can see that you've got all those colours in there. It's scrumptious, and these haven't even seen the shop yet. These got delivered to me rather than the shop got delivered to my house. So we've got them in the 3, and there is some on the bolt. The bolts aren't. I haven't had a chance. Got home last night from the Secret Sewing Club retreat, and I had to put all this stuff onto our website so that I could show it you today. Didn't get a chance to put the boltage on, but the pre-cuts are all on there. Okay, there is only like there's 4 layer cakes, 4 jellies, and I think there's 12 charm packs and mini charms. So there's not a lot of each of these. Only had one outer of each of them. And this, I almost squealed when I opened this box. Got a little bit of beautiful little hearts. Oh, sorry, I've got hiccups. That's because I was stuffing a bagel really quickly. I don't know if you can see this, but Sarah, it looks navy, but it's not. It's the most. Yeah.
Hang fire a second. Everything just went a bit black. There, don't quite know why. It seems fine again now. But just watch in case you've knocked a wire.
Okay. I don't think I did, but hopefully that wasn't anything I did. Probably is. It's been one of those weeks.
Tell me.
Are we all right? We're good? Okay. Hope so.
All good.
This looks black navy on screen. It's really not. It's the most incredible indigo cobalt blue. It's so good, and with that orange against it, it's yum. You've got a little sort of like a bit of gingham and all in there as well. Really, I was properly excited about this. And if I just turn the jelly roll, you can just see all of those colours. That little bit of sort of like mauvey raspberry colour just lifts against all those blues. It's an incredible range. We don't have minis in this. I literally have 4 of the layer cakes, 4 of the jelly rolls, and 12 charm packs, and that is it. Well, there might be 11 charm packs because this one might have to stay with me because I think it's yummy. So that was all brand new. And then I opened another box when I got home last night, and it's the C word. Hate to swear, but it's Christmas. Christmas has arrived. It's started to trickle into the shops already. I know it's only April, but it is already starting to arrive. This is a panel. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not necessarily Christmas. Okay, this isn't Santa and reindeers and snowmen and everything. This is just kind of sort of like winter, warm. And I know we're all looking forward to summer, but as a crafter, as you all know, we have to get started early on our Christmas bits. You get 4 panels, 4 pictures on this panel. They are, I think I said they worked out they're 18. Yeah, they're 18.5 inch. So you've got that one. And then if I just flip to this one, you've got that one, which does feel a little bit more Christmassy, but the depth of colour. These are Robert Kaufman. It's called Merriment. I just think it's gorgeous. The colours in this, the fact they've ombre'd and faded all of these backgrounds just works so well. We've got that one, which again is slightly different to the other one. You've got the Christmas roses in there. I like the fact that these look like little jewels. They look like they're sparkling, even though they're flat. And then that one there as well. So yeah, you've got the 4 different ones on the panel, like that. Different but the same. So these could be 4 incredible cushions for your Christmas sofa. These could be part of a lovely quilt that you've got, you know, draped on your sofa to pull over you, put like a fleece or something on the back, you know, to cutch up under. And I know it feels like we should be talking about summer, but you guys all know, crafters, we have to get started on our Christmas stuff early. I really even like this border piece. There is coordinating fabrics that go with this, which are still on the bolts. And I'm just going to pull these up for you. So we've got 1 and 2. So you've got this beautiful sort of like branches and things. And then you've got the little snowflakes. This one, which is, let me whip those ones down out of the way. This one actually has all of those sort of wreaths and filigree detail. I'll just come in close a second. You can really see that. Oh, actually, that way round. Can you see like this dangling bauble here with that beautiful, beautiful filigree? You've got all this sort of like foliage and all on the top. It's such an elegant range, this. Really, really elegant. It's not your traditional Christmas. That's like sort of a light teal, like a sky colour. But again, it's when you see it in real life, it's like looks like it's all tiny little beads and all actually printed on there. And then there's one more in the actual voltage, which is the snowflakes. Okay, again with those teals and sort of sky blues and stuff. These are all on the website. Like I said, they are brand new. We have 1 bolt of the panels and just 1 bolt each of the fabric. This is not going to last. It will be going to Malvern show, which is our next big thing. I'm not sure it's going to last until then, to be honest, because people have already found it a little bit on the website and only put it on last night. So it's incredible. Absolutely. I'm really obsessed with that as a Christmas fabric. So what was I going to do? I'm going to do a little demo for you. Okay. So this demo works really, really well if you've got leftover jelly roll strips, leftover mini charms. If you're one of those people that cut all their scraps into pre-cut sizes. So I know lots and lots of you do that. You'll cut any leftover scraps into like 2.5 inch strips or 5 inch squares or 2.5 inch squares and stuff. So this is a pattern which uses the fact you've got those 2.5 inch strips and 2.5 inch squares. However, if you don't have like lots of scraps and stuff, this would make a king size quilt with a jelly roll and a mini charm pack. Okay, so you could use both of these. You could actually do this just from a jelly roll, but if you really don't want to do any cutting, 1 of each, you're going to make a massive, massive quilt. It's incredibly simple to do. I'll do a demo on it for you. But also, if you're making charity quilts and you like to use up all your scraps, this looks really good if it's scrappy. If you're just using all sorts of bits and pieces up, it doesn't matter if you've got a bit of kids fabric against a bit of Christmas fabric against a bit of solid fabric, just a plain navy or something. You can mix everything up and it still looks really good. And it's fast. I like fast things. I like them to be quick. Right. I'm just going to move these bolts, otherwise I can't actually get to the demo bit. Right. If you've got any questions, guys, please do ask as well. So it's not just me or waffling on. Okay. So this pattern I've called Scrap Strip, which is really, really hard. We've had it for I wrote it about 8-9 years ago. It's been around for ages, and I forget about it because it's one of those ones that's very, very simple to do. And you think, oh, it'd be, it's one you don't necessarily think about the simple things. I need to revisit some of my old patterns sometimes. If you're a newbie, it's a brilliant one to start with because you can make a whole quilt just from a jelly roll. If, like I said, you're somebody who's got lots and lots of scraps, cut up all your scraps and do it. And then you can make really, really quick picnic rugs and quilts and all sorts of things. You can also use this method for making bags. They make great tote bags, really interesting because you can just do a long piece that way. They're a nice size this way. From all of your scraps, all your jelly roll pieces, you are going to cut obviously they're already 2.5 inches if you use a jelly roll. If not, you want to cut some 2.5 by 12.5 inch strips. Okay, so I tend to cut my jelly rolls up and lay them up sort of 2 or 3 and cut loads. Okay, so I've got lots and lots of different. So I'm using up the end of a jelly roll here. I had about 8 jelly roll strips left from Teddy and the Bears, which again is another range, a Ruby Star range that I love. So you're going to cut up as many 2.5 by 12.5 inch strips as you can. Okay, so I've got a lot of different variety of strips there. You're going to take 2, so I'm going to have one of those. You want 2 different ones, and let's have that pink one, bright pink one. Pair them up. Okay, so for each block you're actually going to want, so I've already done 2, this is half a block, so for each block you're going to want 8 2.5 by 12.5 inch strips, and you're going to need 16 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares. Okay, but if you want to make a bag and not a block, you just keep adding these on to make it, the tote bag or pouch or whatever as big as you want. If you want to do a pouch, they're actually really good for folding in half and doing that way because you've still got quite a lot of interest happening on both sides. Hopefully you're still all with me. First thing we can do is we're going to stitch this right sides together like that. And the nice thing about this type of thing is that you can absolutely chain piece these. So I'm just going to pair up another 2. So I'm going to have that one and that one. And we're going to stitch these down. It doesn't matter that I've got a bit of the salvage in there. That doesn't bother me. So we're just going to stitch down 1/4 inch on both of these. So over we go. And where are we? Oh, hang on. There we go. I'm not bothering to pin or anything. You would just chain piece these all in one go. All the way down. Like that. Has anybody got any questions? Anybody having a chat? What do you do with your scrap packs? What do you buy them for? Because we sell a lot of them.
Claire, who's been on.
Yeah.
Claire and Jean. So Jean says she's bought a couple of the Moda scrap packs to make some quilts for Project Linus.
Ah, lovely.
Very posh quilts with Moda in. And Claire just put an order in. Sarah couldn't resist such great prices and amazing products.
Oh, bless you. Thank you very much, Claire. Claire's just was on one of our retreats, bless her. And I didn't see you to say goodbye, lovely, because I had to leave at 6:15 in the morning. So I didn't get to say goodbye. So I hope you had a really good last day, Claire.
Oh, I thought you meant she was on the one that we were on yesterday. And I was like, oh, which Claire?
No. She was on the last one of our 3 that we did. So
did you have a lovely time?
We did. It was lovely. I as much as they are incredibly hard work, because they take a lot of organising and a lot of stuff and everything. I really, really enjoy the retreats. I love seeing all the different things that people make, and even when they're all doing like the same pattern, they all, if they're bringing their own fabrics and stuff, you get to see so many variations, and you get to chat to lots of people and hear everyone's stories.
Didn't we?
It's great. I absolutely love it. We were really lucky with the weather. The weather was so beautiful the last sort of like few days. We were sat outside in the gardens of the hotel.
Yesterday was lovely because it was kind of 2 of us in the morning and 2 of us in the afternoon. Like in the morning, we were quite good though, because we were sitting out the front of the hotel where none of the guests could see us. But in the afternoon, we were teaching, and if you were in the room that I was in first in the afternoon, where you could see the orangery where we'd had lunch, they were all just running about, like Anthea and Nicola just running about on the lawn, and you're like,
having a whale of a time they were.
They were having a lovely time to themselves.
So all I did with those 2 is literally it's 1 line of stitching all the way down, 1/4 inch, and I've just pressed it to one side. You're going to put those aside for now, and then you're going to make some little 4 patches. And again, these you chain piece these. This is super quick, quilt top. Okay, so we're just going to put these right sides together, and we're going to chain piece these and put them together. Okay, it's 4 patches like that. We're going to put those together. Back over we go. So I'm also going to cheat slightly. I'm not even going to cut the thread in between. So we're going to stitch down that one like that, and then we're going to add in this one, chain piece that one like that, and then for each 4 patch, I'm not even going to bother to clip that little bit of thread for quickness. I'm going to open one out to the right, flip that one out to the left, just give it a very quick finger press. We're going to flip that on top of that. Ooh, fell off the table. Flip that on top of that, line up that centerpiece just there. Hopefully you can see that. Hang on, let me just move the light because it's very dark. Sometimes, there we go, that might be better. So I just flipped it over, nested up that center, and we're going to stitch down that one as well. So your 4 patch is done in an instant. You don't even have to clip your threads. I'm going to do that again on this one. Hopefully you'll be able to see that now I've moved the light. It'll be a little bit easier for you. So stitch that one. And then stitch the next pair. Like that. And then I'm clipping between each pair. Not each pair, each 2. Each 2 pairs. If that makes sense. 2 pairs? That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Are you very tired, Benny? You're going to have to just bear with me. There we go, like that. And then this one's going to go on top of here like that. Flip that over. Line that up, and away we go again. Okay. And I'm just using my finger just to make sure that that's all nice and nested. And then down we go. When we come off air later, my husband's promised me we can look at holidays. We can look at going away for the weekend. So I'm going to be very excited later when we come off air.
Where do you fancy going?
Might go to Prague. We haven't been to Prague, and some friends came back from there a few weeks ago, and said it was really cool. So might fancy Prague for the week. I mean, we're not talking like a full week away because I haven't got any time in the shop at the moment, but maybe like a little 3-night break somewhere. Might try Prague. Any suggestions? Anyone been anywhere nice for just a little 3-day break?
Oh, time off.
I was going to say, yeah, time off. It hasn't happened for a very long time.
I think in some ways, obviously, the whole create and craft going down thing was terrible.
Yes.
Yes, a lot of people lost a lot of money, both customers and businesses.
Mm-hmm.
However, as businesses, I think it's really made us up our games a bit.
Oh, absolutely. We've had to find new ways of connecting with customers and stuff, and doing things like this and all sorts. There's loads and loads of things we've had to do to just try and keep those businesses going. It's not easy out there at the moment, but I think everybody
do. Thank everybody who comes on and supports us on.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It makes
I mean, there'd be no point us doing this if people didn't watch and enjoy what we were doing. So, what you're going to do?
I have some holiday suggestions for you.
Oh, where am I going then, Pete? Maybe I should put it to a poll.
Jean says Prague is amazing. Mary Martin suggests Rome. Porto in Portugal is lovely. Now I can second that. It was lovely. However, nice. Don't go in January. It was cold.
Oh, was it?
There was a big festival on when we were there. We were staying right by the river. It was lovely. Prague is beautiful. Budapest is also good for a long weekend. So yes, plenty of weekend break suggestions coming in.
Excellent. I will. I will have a little read of those comments.
If you get stuck, I've got a spare room in Whitley Bay.
Thanks, love. I was hoping for a weeny bit of sunshine, but you never know. It's been very warm this week.
I mean, it's been 20 degrees here. So that's as tropical as we get up north.
That's tropical. Oh, I could meet Frank in the Ducks.
Oh, Frank's in Peterborough way. You can come meet Frank for the weekend. There's plenty of space there. And your husband can go fishing.
Yes.
With Matt.
That would keep him happy.
We can just go and drink wine.
Again, that would keep me happy.
All sorted. Sunny Peterborough it is then.
Fair enough. Right, so all I did then was just sew one of the 4 patches on the end of one of the strip pieces, and I just nested this little bit here. So can you see if I come back to here? Just nested that just to make sure that that's really nice and neat, and again with those center seams. Okay, doesn't really matter which way you iron it. I tend to iron it towards the bigger strips just because you've got a little bit less bulk there. And the same with that one. And you make as many of these as you want, and then you just turn them. So that one's going to go that way. This one, I'm going to have the 4 patch that end like that. We're going to put these right sides together, bump, and stitch all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to do that really quickly. All the way down there. Alexandra's saying, I just can see on a comment there that I should come to the Isle of Man. We I came to the Isle of Man last September. We had a lovely week.
There we go. I was going to say you go there anyway, don't you? Because you do the Manx quilting.
Manx quilting, yeah. So the Isle of Man's beautiful. It was like chocolate box pretty. I mean, just so beautiful. A lot more, which sounds awful, a lot more than I thought, but that I'd never been before, obviously before the first time. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was, stunningly beautiful. Really, really lovely place to be. Oh, I just managed to get Marmite all over my fabric because I didn't finish eating my bagel. So I've now got Marmite all over the back of my fabric. I tucked my bagel out of the way thinking I'll eat that later, and I managed to dip my fabric in my Marmite.
Oh dear.
Never mind, it'll wash out. It's only Marmite. There we go. So there's half a block, and then you're going to put that to make sure that, hang on, move all that out of the way. I'm going to pop those together. Oh no, because that's the wrong way round. Oh, what have I done? Oh, you idiot girl.
You've made one back.
I've made 2 halves. I've made 2 halves.
Oh.
That one's supposed to be up there. It's supposed to be like that.
I tell you what, put them both
I'm going to
together,
unpick it.
the corners out, pencil case.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
There you
see,
go.
like that. Little pouch.
No, I mean put the 2 long ones. Put the 2
Like
long
that,
ones.
2 long
together.
ones like that. Use Sasha's little boxing tool in the
That's
corners.
Pencil case.
Little
done.
pencil case. I could just unpick that and flip them over the other way, which would have worked. But lie out your block first rather than worrying about where the Marmite is. So you're going to have a 4 patch on the bottom and then a 4 patch up there. And then it should go 4 patch on the bottom, like that. And then 4 patch up there, and that's a block done. However, this little technique doesn't have to be a block, it could be.
Give you some time to unpick that.
I'm going to unpick it and I'll put it back together real quick while somebody else does a proper demo instead of my nonsense.
I'm not going to do a proper demo, but I am going to remind people about.
I'm going to show you new stuff.
I know. Well. Right, hang on a second. Buttons. Oh, missing Sasha, so that's fine. Oh, here she comes. There she is.
Hey, I was trying to find the fabric.
But I can see she's there because there's stuff moving. There's finger. There she is. This thing was moving around. Any recommendations then for Sarah's weekend away?
Weymouth.
Rosemary just said that. Go to
Weymouth. We used to go to Weymouth loads as kids. It was one of our go-to places to mum and dad would take us. So I've been to Weymouth loads. It's lovely.
Portland. That's about as far as I get to go. Over the Chesil to Portland. That is about it.
Fair enough.
Mind you, we do have palm trees in Weymouth.
You do? All down by the beach, don't you?
Yeah, and to be quite honest, at this time of year, sat on the harbour, nice glass of something, there is nothing better. It is absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
Any recommendations,
I've been.
Katrina?
I love the seaside, so Bamborough. I think that would be a weekend.
That's very cool.
In the north.
It's
just
choice.
I know, but it's just so beautiful. Or Porthleven. I like Porthleven.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Splendid. Right, I am going to very quickly just remind everybody of some of the birthday deals that we've got on, and then we will whip back around. We can overrun a little bit, but I do need to be off in time to sort John out because John's on at 6 o'clock. So let me just do some jiggery pokery.
No, you've got nothing at the minute, lovely.
Yeah, I'm having some problems. Well, this update that we did has just sent everything haywire. So let me just try one more. Oh, hang on. That would not be helping me. I had.
Oh, you're back, love. You're on Facebook. Yeah. You've got sound.
It's because I had my keyboard. I had a load of fabric on my keyboard. And the fabric on my keyboard was pressing a load of buttons. And now I've
disaster zone, woman.
I'm struggling today. So let me try again. Hey, there we go. Right, I'm in, and I've got sound hopefully. So code at the bottom, birthday 11. You need to put it all in. You need to put it in capitals as well. And what that will do, it will give you 11% off everything on the website. So it's 11% off absolutely everything. So what I was going to show you, if I very quickly whack the overhead on. Oops. Oh, need to face. Hang on. There we go. Love that, don't you? Right. I think we're good about there. So we still have some of. Oh, I don't know why we're getting all these thumbs up when it's just such a disaster zone. But we have a load of our fantastic Cafe fabrics still. The reason we get so many half meters of these is because we cut for other companies, and when we are finished cutting the charm packs or layer cakes or jelly rolls, whatever they want, There's always a little bit left over because the bolts never come and they're all exactly the same size. So with the bits that are left over, we then make those into 1/2 meters and then make them in 2 packs. So this is kind of part of the blues option. You can get anything within this range. Obviously, if there's some of the brighter ones, we do try and pick them kind of intelligently, so you get 3 that you could work together and you could make something with. So that would be a possible blues option, or you might get something like that as a blues option. It's unlikely I would put kind of that with that because it's just too much, it's too far different. But when you've got it with those ones, there's bits of orange and bits of pink that you can pull from each of them. So the options that you have, or you have blues, where am I going to put these? On the floor. You have the brights, which is that one there. So that's got all your pinks, your oranges, your reds, really, really bright pops of colour in there. And you may get those 3, you may get those 3, but again, we will try and intelligently pick them so they will kind of work together. Then darks as an option. I love this one. It reminds me of school ties. This screams Brandon. Is it a Brandon one? I'm trying to find the edge so I can see. Oh, it's not on there, but it screams Brandon, that one, I think. But with kind of alongside these ones, it's all those same colours that work in, especially kind of this one and this one as well. So I'd probably either do something like those 3, or you might get something like those 3 again, where those little geometric purple spots just bring out the purple in the other ones. So they could be within the darks bundle. They should be, I think it's $23.90 something. Let me just quickly grab our website, pop that up, and then I will be able to tell you. So if you go on to the craftyourselfsilly.com website, again, that's down the bottom there. There's a little tab at the top for Secret Sewing Club. If you hit that and then go for the 13th of April, that will bring everything up. 3/2 meters would normally be $23.98. They are $17.99, but if you use the code, where's, oh, it's over here, this code, birthday 11, use that, all capitals, put the whole thing in, that will get you an extra 11% off. So that's the greens option. Again, it could be something along the lines of those 3. I mean, actually, I would probably put that one with that one with that one, because then you're bringing through those purples and those blues. And then with that one, I'd probably go with those 3, because you've got more of that turquoisey teal colour coming through. But again, we will hopefully intelligently pick them so that they do work together for you. And alongside that, I have a handful of the big backing pieces left as well. So this one is an Amy Butler one. It's called Natural Beauty. It's 2.1 meters wide by 1.5 meters. This one's a bit on like a sateen fabric. It's a slightly different weave, a little bit heavier weight than maybe you're used to. So if you're thinking of dressmaking, great for jackets and things like that. If you're thinking of upholstery, that's easily a headboard right there. Then, terrible name, but beautiful fabric. This one is Tree Fungi, and that is a Cafe design. Again, beautiful, beautiful fabric. It's got, I mean, you could chuck anything at this and it would work. And for a quilt backer, brilliant, because it's so busy. If your quilting's not perfect, you are never going to see that on this. And then you've got another Amy Butler one. This one is Oh Dear. Now the colour on my screen there isn't, I don't think it's given the kind of, or on my little monitor is not given the true colour. This is kind of a corally pink, and then this is more of a cerise. So it has got deers on there. You can see the odd one kind of just hopping in there. And this one is a slightly lighter weight one. This one is more of a lawn. So again, if you're thinking dressmaking, this could be a lovely, lovely floaty option for dressmaking, for those kind of summer tops or maxi dresses. Then we have this one. This is another Cafe one. It's Brown Regency. It's an 1.4 meters by 2 meters, this one. So again, nice big piece. And the last one that I have, it's down as Bright Heart on our thing, but that's the collection. The actual name of the fabric is Feather Fans. So this one has kind of mauvey purple background, really, really soft lilacs and pinks, and that little pop of orange in there. So we do have a handful of those backers there. So if you are doing bigger projects, if you are doing quilts, then you've got those as an option to have something a little bit bigger. So let me get rid of those and let me go and grab everybody. Oh, she's off again. I can see her rummaging in the background. You know what? Because I can. You're right, Sasha.
Huh? Sorry. Sorry.
That was mean, wasn't it?
Sorry. I'm coming. Oh, bugger, the dogs are outside. Hang on.
Right, you go and sort the dogs. We'll get Katrina set away. I think that's for the best. Are you ready, Katrina?
I am.
You don't wander off.
Okay.
You don't wander off.
Okay.
We haven't had your cats wandering, have we? It was Nicola's cats we had wandering in.
Nicholas, we shut the door. They can't get in.
See, so organised. Love it. Right, are you ready? And I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah. I've got a couple of things I'd like to show you.
Perfect.
I've got a couple of designs here that I did for the book with Search Press. So I just thought I'd show you these. These were used as interest for the stitches. So I just thought of the easy stitches and using variegated threads and a little bit of organza just as ideas that you could use. So this is the one that we did earlier, fly stitch. So it just gives you little ideas as to what you could do with that stitch. And then Rowandean, we've got lots of designs featuring walls, do different kinds of textures and different kinds of colours. Really, really useful stitching. It's not difficult. It's straight stitch. And then you've got combinations where you're using different textures. And I think that's what I like at the moment. I like to use yarns, metallic yarns, beads, lots and lots of different kinds of sequins that just give you that mixture of textures. And then again, earlier on, we were looking at French knots, which we did. And then we did some loopy French knots. It's a lot of support in the book. The first half of the book is all about stitches, is all about how I use the different kinds of stitches. And then you'll find that there are lots of step-by-step diagrams, etc. And then, of course, there are 10 projects that you can use your own threads for. So if you really like to have a go at some stitching, then I think the book's really, really good. So it's on its 5th printing. So we sold it in France and all around the world, really. So if you like to have ideas that you can use in your own projects, the book's a good idea. So on today, on our website, it's got 20% off all the things that we've been showing today. So have a look on the homepage and you can see all of those 20% off of all the designs that we've been doing today. So I'll just move those out of the way. And then before I forget, there's a couple of ideas that I want to show you here, but I'll just tell you we're on the craft store on the 28th of April in Oundle. And then, so that's going to be something really, really good. And then we're starting on Sewing Street on Saturday, the 3rd of May. So that'll be a new adventure for us. And we've got some exciting new stuff and it's going to be quite exciting. So that's the 3rd of May. We're on there for doing a launch show. So that's something really exciting to look forward to. Anyway, back to the elderflower needle case. There's lots of stitches that once you've done, we've done a couple of them. We've done French knots, we've done straight stitch, we've done a few little bit of on beads. Yes.
While you're on the needle case, we did have a question earlier saying, is it any good for a beginner?
absolutely so easy for a beginner. The idea is there is a print on the fabric, you've got something to follow, you're going to place the organzas over the top, but really it's really basic stitching. It's just the sort of the addition of the organza that makes it look, doesn't make it look complicated, but it makes it look a little bit more. Seed beads, you've got pearl beads, all different sizes, you've got a collection of sequins, so you've got everything to play with.
Just hang on, we've got a couple of messages saying there's no sound on Facebook. Now it did drop out, but it just as I interrupted you there, it did seem to come back.
Oh, has it come back? Has it come back? Okay.
Yeah, it seems to have come back. I haven't touched anything. I haven't pressed anything. I think we've just got gremlins today. So I think we're fine now.
There's a few of the things. There's a few of those. Okay, so in your kit, you'll get both of the needles for your stitching. This one I'm using is a Milliner's 10. I find it a bit easier than a bead. Combination of colours to do the project, and then I'm just taking a few of those like so. So it is easy. So once you've got your organza in place, then you just ignore it and just carry on with your stitching. And it's your stitching that would hold the organza in place. And then I'm just going to move to one of the other parts now. So often on a project, I'll probably use a little bit of organza just to give a little bit of texture. So I'll show you how you can do that. Take the organza, and it's woven, it's a man-made organza, and you can just take the fabric on the bias, you know, the sort of stretchy part of that, and then you're just going to cut across the bias there, and then you're just going to be a bit mean to it, and you're just going to distort that until it looks interesting. You need to pull it quite hard to get the shape, and then you're just going to arrange that, and then you're going to pin that over your shape. And then if you use the flat pins, they're a great pin. They keep the organza in place, and you can add as many layers as you wish. So by cutting it on the bias, you get an uneven frayed edge, which is really, really nice to work with. And you can have as many layers. You'll still be able to see the print. So the print's there as a guide as to how big the stitches might be. And then as you start stitching, you've obviously got the instructions there as well, but you're going to stitch over the line. So that's really, really simple. So a giant stitch over the print, and that'll hold the organzas in place. As you start to stitch, and you just can take the pins out then after, and obviously you're going to make the stitches, you'll fill in once you've got the stitches held in place. So it's quite quick. The designs aren't going to take you very long to complete. Obviously in the instructions I do say what colours, but there's no reason why you can't just change the colours, do whatever colours you wish. It's not going to be wrong. And remember, who cares what the back looks like? All right, so I'm just going to fasten that off there. So in the actual needle case, once you've done all, I would recommend that you do all your stitching first, and then cut them up to do when you start to construct it. So you can machine it together. There are instructions for that, or you can stitch it all by hand. So there's the one somewhere buried in here. So you can decide which one you want to use. You can embellish them with beads and the sequins, or if you want to, you can add more stitching. And then I've just secured those with the beads to hold them into your design. And I think there's a little bit of like Bonder web to iron on those pieces onto the felt. So it's a nice project, and it's really well. And then don't forget, it's okay to use it. It's not just to be admired. I think it's great that it's a working object, and you can add more things to it as you go along. Take an idea from the book, and then maybe a page on French knots, fly stitch. So when you go to a class, you've got all the information, you've got all the things that you like to do in one place. So that's a really nice project.
Thank you very much. And I think you're right. It is nice to have practical things that are usable, because I think sometimes if you go on the website, we've got quite a lot of accessory cases, pin cushions. There's a lot of needle cases on there. This is just one of them. I think there are about 6 or 7 different kinds. So, have a look at those. And I know that a lot of our customers put other pieces of work into and make it more of a textile journal. Right. So have a look on the website. You'll see loads and loads of things. But today, all the things that we're looking at, it's 20% off. So have a look at those on the homepage. Yeah, so if you head to rowandean.com, obviously it's just at the bottom of the screen there, or you can use the QR code if you're watching on your big telly, and that will take you straight there. So let me go and grab everybody else, because Sasha's finished blowing her nose. Sarah's drinking, well, could be anything in there, knowing her.
It's tea, I promise, it's tea.
Good news, thank you.
There's no vodka in there yet, or Bailey's, not yet.
I think you moved on to the Irish coffees, you see.
It's a thought.
It is a thought. Sasha, are you ready to finish your project?
I am, completely.
Excellent. Okay, I shall hand it over to you.
So, what we have done, we have put our 2 pieces of the outside together, joined down the sides, joined the bottom, and I've just got to do one little see in a sec, just to do the box bottom. For anybody that's joined a bit late, so this one was 10 inches.
It was 11. That's correct.
Was it 11 by 13?
At least one of us is paying attention.
At least one of us is. Oh, good job, you're my friend. She does love me, really.
I know.
So this is going to be my outside of my basket. Now at this point, if you want to do handles, you can pop your handles on. Obviously, don't forget that they are going to go in downwards, okay? But I'm going to fold mine over. So I'm going to show you how we are going to join the lining. Let me just knock that down a second. So our lining, we are doing the right sides together, and we are going to stitch down each side. We are going to stitch along the bottom, but we're going to leave a hole in the bottom so that we can actually turn that through. If you were using in our form, obviously you'd want to have a bit of a bigger hole, so maybe do it on the side. But the thing that I love about these baskets, I go to them as a go-to all the time because they're great for gifts. So they're great for gifts. They are great as little hampers. You can literally do them in any size you want to. And they are so easy. So easy. Right, and let's do this side. I've got great big baskets, the same as this, like on the stairs. I've got smaller ones that are just dotted around places, really. But as I say, you can put handles on them. You can turn down you can do whatever you want with them. And also play around with the sizes as well. Give it a really good play around with all different sizes, because sometimes you'll get them where they're more upright, depending on the depth, the width. Yeah. So I'm going to stitch along the bottom now, and I'm probably going to go only about 1.5 inches in, go backwards, as well, just to secure those stitches, like so. And then we are also going to do the same this side. So make sure they're nice and secure. So for anybody that has ordered the box template, thank you. And so when you've got your box like this, your box corners, if you haven't done a box bottom before, all you're going to do is you are going to pop your fingers in like so, and you're going to open that out so that the seams are in the middle, and then you're just going to line those seams up, grab a couple of pins and pop that through that seam so it keeps it really nice, and all those seams have been nice and lined up. And then we're just going to stitch right the way along the bottom. So what is everybody having for tea tonight? Because I don't know what time I'm going to get my tea, because obviously from here I've got my live at 6, so I'll be on a late night tea tonight, I think. But what's everybody having? Have you had a nice roasty? I've been craving a roasty. Don't know what. No, I'm not pregnant, by the way. I've just been thinking about a roasty quite a bit. Although I was really disappointed yesterday. I was really looking forward to cauliflower cheese because of the braces. I can't eat much solid stuff at the moment. So I went and got this cauliflower cheese from a supermarket. Got like a reasonably good one. You know, it was the best of, obviously. And it was horrible. It was horrible. Why put truffle stuff in it? Why can't you just have cauliflower cheese or mac and cheese? Why do you have to have truffle stuff in it? Yeah. And I didn't realise that I'd picked up the one with truffle stuff in it, and I was really upset because it was horrible. So that was my disastrous meal last night. Hayley, what have you got for tea?
At the minute, I've got chocolate biscuit. But I did go to the supermarket today with all good intentions of cooking a chili tonight. But
all right.
I just cannot be bothered, so it's going to be bacon sandwich.
Well, Amelia's just messaged me to say that she went to the supermarket today, and I asked her to pick me up something, and she come back and she said, I got 3 Easter eggs. Okay, so what about the cucumber and the tomatoes that I asked you to pick up? Well, I got 3 Easter eggs. They were on offer.
It's like magic beans, like Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh, goodness me.
So you're having Easter eggs for tea then?
Jean has said on Facebook she's having chicken and ham pie with vegetables. Very nice. Very nice.
You shouldn't have asked this question, because you're just
Jane,
and disappointed now.
Jane is having Chinese. Oh, right. So I'm going to turn this in the correct way, and then I'm going to place my lining inside my basket, and you're going to make sure that those seams are lined up. Do you know, my pins seem to be so far away from me today.
Sasha, have you repeated the size? Because apparently the sound went funny when you said the size.
So it was 11 by 13.
1 and 3, 13.
And then we did a 3-inch box bottom.
So when you say 3-inch, do you mean like measuring 1.5 inch and 1.5 inches?
No, we're using the box bottom template, which has got the 3-inch on there, and it's got the 2-inch.
Okay.
So I'm just making sure that everything is lined up, and then we are going to stitch all the way around. So now we're just going to stitch all the way around the top. think we're playing a little bit of bobbin chicken.
Roulette.
Bobbin roulette, yeah. Yeah. I mean, when they actually make a sewing machine that has little arms that can go in the bottom of the machine, take out the bobbin, put a new bobbin in, I'll be so happy.
See, I think there must be a way around this. I think there must be a way that you can just have a proper sized steel thread.
There's got to be the technology out there now that you can have a big reel of thread that can go through the bottom and the top. If you can have embroidery machines with like 20, 30 different threads on it, surely they can make an...
Shall I get on that after this?
Yeah, that's, you've got plenty of time, Hayley. Can you get on that for me, please?
No problem.
And I'm going to put this out there now for all of those that keep messaging, because Hayley mentioned the llama pincushion when we were on the craft store.
I've done
it. It is on its way. It is on its way.
Need to put a pattern on it for you.
But yeah, Hayley mentioned it, and then out of everything, I had so many messages, and I didn't think they heard you say about it.
Right, I've had a thought.
Oh, have you?
Instead of me putting a pattern on it, why don't I put it onto interfacing, and then you can choose your own pattern with fabric?
Perfect.
I'll do that then.
Do that then.
Get that finished this afternoon after I've invented the endless bobbin.
The endless bobbin. God, can you imagine if we could do things like that? Like,
why not? I totally think I could pull that off.
You know,
got a spare couple of machines here. I think I can get that.
There has got to be a way of doing it, though. There's got to be.
Oh yeah, there must be. I mean,
you know, somebody must have thought about it.
Let me have a
because
think.
it's a bit like the slidey in the front bobbins. You know, the front face it off.
See, yeah.
I hate
on
those.
the old machines where it kind of. Sorry, I've got hiccups because I'm whistling too fast. In the old machines where it goes in like underneath, either in the front or the side, that would be easier.
Yeah.
When it comes in the top, which is easier for us to load.
Yeah.
That's slightly more challenging. I've got a little what was it? Q10? What is it? Hang on. I've got this one. Oh. There's some other ones in the car still from yesterday. Do you also have a car sewing machine that just stays in there permanently?
I do have a car sewing machine. I think anybody that sews has a car sewing machine. If you teach and if you do workshops and things, I think that we all have a car sewing machine. And people laugh at me. When I took my car for a service the other Monday, he said, "Have you cleared out the boot?" And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Has it got all your sewing stuff in it?" And I was like, "Yeah." "What? And the machine?" "Yeah." I mean, what? People carry their tools. People carry their tools in there. We carry our sewing machines in there.
It is a tool. It is fine.
Right, I'm just going around.
I'm doing some experiments while we're.
Oh, here she goes.
While we're here.
By the time 5 o'clock comes, she'll be there. Honestly, you can't mention anything to Hayley because she's literally on it, there and then, on it. Honestly, she's a great friend to have.
Because if I don't do it straight away, it doesn't get done. That's the problem.
Right, nearly there, guys.
Say that I'm a great friend to have. However, it is if it doesn't get done straight away. It's got to be done instantly. Otherwise, it doesn't get done.
And I'm sure because we're all on today, we are all going to have input in this. So when she starts making a million, we've got a claim on this as well.
All right. You can
oh, Chris is having a curry tonight.
Right. Okay. I've got like a concept in my mind.
Okay.
And a little work on that now.
Right. So we have gone all the way around and we are now turning it through that hole. I'm going to check that I've also caught all my seams, because there's nothing worse than going through and not quite catching what you've done. Now, it was a bit controversial on when we were on the craft store last time, because some people got into a whole discussion about, politely putting it, closing up your hole. Now, I'm a girl that prefers, when she's closing up her hole, to do it by sewing machine, because I think it's in the bottom, you're not going to see it. But a lot of people out there actually like to do it by hand. Hayley, how do you close up your hole?
To be honest, most of them never get closed, because they're all samples and they all just get left.
And then you go and use it, and what happens? Everything falls
gets stuck in the
bottom.
lining.
Yep. I gave a bag away once to a raffle, and now the reason why I always make sure that I close the hole up by machine is because they must have thought I was literally the world's worst sewer, because the lady came back to me and said, oh, I think there's a bit of a problem because everything's falling out the bottom. I felt terrible. I felt absolutely terrible. But there we go. Sorry. Hay fever season. Nose is running. Right. So, hole is closed. And now what you're going to do is you are going to tuck all this down, and it will need a little bit of a press, and then you can top stitch all the way around. Once you have top stitched all the way around, there you go. There is your lovely Easter basket that you can fill with all the treats, anything you want. Pop it on your table, pop it in the wash, pop your bread in it, pop anything like that in it. It's fabric, it can just go in the washing machine afterwards. Pop some little handles on there, just really, really quick and easy. So that is the lesson this afternoon, is your quick and easy basket.
Splendid, splendid. Let me go and grab everybody else. Hang on, I have to. Now, see, now you've distracted me with trying to invent a thing. I wasn't ready to press my buttons. I will crack it. Don't you worry. I mean, it's got to be a thing.
It has got to be a thing. It has got to be a way. Do you not agree, everybody? Sarah, do you not?
Is this?
Thank you, Chris.
Was this endless bobbin thread we're still talking about now?
Yeah. Isn't it just the worst thing?
I'm a very, very spoiled girl who has a banana that has humongous bobbins on, and I sewed for 3 days straight at the retreat, and I only had to change one bobbin. So they're huge. They're like that bobbins. They take almost a half a reel of Orifil. So yeah, it's not a problem I have.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
That's all right, Hayley. You and your big bobbins.
Just because I'm very spoiled,
and my big bobbins.
Banana it's got huge bobbins.
Yeah, all right.
It's okay. You guys. I mean, if you invent one, I will happily give it a trial.
Because I think as well, I've even got an alarm. So on my big sewing machine in my other sewing room. Oh wow, they are.
Yeah, they're huge. They take so much thread.
Well, on the, do you know me, M7?
I'm taking it to bits.
So on the M7 that I've actually got, that has like an alarm on it. So when the bobbin's getting low, it actually stops and tells you. But I actually switched it off, because the problem with it is it stops and it tells you when there's about 2-3 meters of thread.
That's not close enough.
It's not close enough.
Like,
I want
like 20
like half a yard. Yeah, well, even half a yard or half a meter wouldn't be so bad, because then I would finish the bit that I was on, and then so it's still not quite there.
So my banana, it's got the same thing. It tells you when the bobbin's getting low, but it's like a little tiny flash on the screen that just says bobbin's getting low, bobbin's getting low, bobbin's getting low. But then it will just not allow you to stop the sew once it runs out. But it literally, when when you stop sewing, there's that much. You have to pull it out of the bobbin, and it's that much.
No,
so,
it's literally a couple of meters that's left on it, and what happens is you cannot continue to sew.
No.
So you've then got to take it off.
And it's literally until the threads left the bobbin is come up, then it goes, no more sewing. So
do you know what?
I'm now wondering what the Katrina equivalent is.
Well, Rosemary has come up
just
with
get a new bit of thread. Just start again, fasten it up, get another one.
So on Facebook, Rosemary has put, we need something like bullets that go in a gun so that you just rotate to the next bobbin.
Yeah, just
how amazing would that be?
Like the toilet roll holders in service stations. You've got the 3 and one runs out, and you just press them and it goes, and the next one. That's what you need.
Rosemary, you are on something today.
What I would really, really like is something my friend Taryn suggested. Why is there not a Bluetooth foot pedal? Why does it have to be plugged with technology nowadays?
It doesn't have to be a wire anymore now.
No, why have I not got one?
Why isn't there? Why isn't there a cordless
for somebody to invent that? Because there's so many different feet, and there's so many different adapters that go in. And I mean, I've got a whole selection of Husqvarnas, but if I took the feet off the 100Q, it wouldn't work with the Jade and things like that. So there's
there's got to be a way around it. There's got to be a unit.
You know, like you have a mouse, a cordless mouse for your laptop, and you just plug something into the side of the machine. Because there's so many times that the foot pedal, just the wire gets in the way, and I'm just like, I want a cordless foot pedal.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching, brother, singer, Husqvarna, whoever, Janome, Benina, whoever, wireless foot pedals, please.
Those wireless needles, Katrina.
And Katrina's actually had a question. Katrina, Sarah on Facebook has said to Katrina, aren't you glad you don't have bobbins?
I do have but I've thread that we stitch with what the 500 gram cones, and really they're big. They don't run out. Cost a fortune, but they don't run out.
Excellent. Right, Sarah.
Yes.
We are going to overrun today because we were a little bit late starting because of some gremlins. Where are you off to, Sasha?
My battery is just about to die, so I've just had to plug you in a second.
No problem. Well, we'll let Sarah finish off her demos, and then we will go before your battery runs out, my love. All right, Sarah, you ready?
Yes, my lovely. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. One thing I forgot to show you guys, which is in the Secret Sewing Club section, and this is actually this is probably something Katrina could tell you a lot more about than me. But it's a new panel from Moda, which is an embroidery panel. So they are in the Secret Sewing Club section. That's the size it comes. So it's 24 inches by 42. And you've got, if I just come to the close-up, you can see you've got all these really beautiful little pictures already printed onto the panel, which are designed that you would then stitch into them. I do red work, which is just a back stitch and a French knot. I don't do any other sort of embroidery, but I know lots and lots of our customers do. But you've got these beautiful little pictures, which I'm sure if you watch any of Katrina's demos, there's lots of stitches that she's shown you that you could be using on these. Again, this was in a box when I arrived home from the retreats. This was in one of the boxes. So you've got 12 little pictures, but they're really pretty. They're part of the Bloom and Grow range, and I just thought they were really sweet. I think I would probably, if it was me, just do red work on these. But if you're a clever little buddy like Trina and you can do really good embroidery, these would be fantastic for you to play around and practice on. practice some of her techniques. So yeah, there was that one as well as all the other bits I showed you earlier. You've definitely found the scrap packs. I've had loads of orders come through for the scrap packs, so you were loving that little offer, which is great actually, because it means I can get them out the shop and get the new ones out. Because we did a little bit about using up jelly roll strips or using up your scraps. I dug out this little demo that we were doing at the retreats, which is all about Bargellos, which again uses up teeny tiny scraps, leftover jelly roll strips. They don't have to be leftover. You could absolutely use, full jelly roll strips, some new ones, and make whole sets and everything. But I thought Bargello is something that some people struggle with, so we could have a little look at that just very quickly. And I will keep this brief because I know we've overrun in all today. So you're going to choose six strips for this little technique. Bargello is, or Bargello, whichever you want to say. It does, there are incredibly complicated patterns out there that are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things. But this is a simple one. If you've never had a go at it before, very, very easy to do. You're going to put your jelly roll strips out in whatever, 6 of them. They don't have to be jelly rolls. You could cut this from scrap. 6 different ones. Sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance.
Who makes some lovely rolls, strip rolls.
You do? Oh, yes. You could absolutely, if you have craft yourself silly rolls there. Oh, actually, the ombre ones would make incredible placemat. Yeah. In fact, one roll would work really, really well. No, it's fine, lovely. All I did then was I've just literally folded the strip set in half. Shush out, woman. Folded the strip set in half and then just stitched it together to make a tube, basically making a little tube like that, looking at your hands all the way through it. You're going to decide what your number 1 fabric is, okay? And this is the same with any Bargello pattern, okay? It is each one varies with the sizes. I'm just going with the sizes that I did for these placemats, but the principle is the same, okay? So I'm going to cut a strip. I'm going to start by cutting a strip that is 2 inches from the edge. So I've straightened up my edge, just checking that my horizontals are in line with my stitches, so everything is nice and parallel. And I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip, okay? And then in my pattern, it tells me to, well, I would if I put a new blade in my rotary cutter. My next one is a 2 1/4, so I'm going to cut a 2 1/4 inch strip next, like that. And I'm basically going to work down this little table, cutting my strips in the sizes it tells me. So I've just done strip 7, strip 8. We're going to go down then strip 9. So that's a 2 1/4. And the next one's a 1 3/4, like that. And then 1 1/2. I've really got to put a blade in. And 1 1/2, like that. I won't cut them all now, just so you get an idea, but you would cut all of your strips, okay? Now you decide when you start your strips, which is your first fabric, which is fabric number 1. So for me, it's this white one here, okay? So you're going to unpick the seam at the top of the first fabric. So what I mean by that, so this is fabric number 1. So this seam right at the top here is getting unpicked, okay? So pop your seam ripper in there. Oh, if I could get this right. And then just unpick that one, okay? And I'm going to keep that one at the top. My second fabric, I'm going to pick down the second seam. So if this is my first one here, this is my number 2 fabric. So I'm going to my second seam, which is at the top of number 2 here. And I'm going to unpick that one. Come on. Why is unpicking on camera? I'm going to open that out and I'm keeping that one at the top like that. And can you see they've moved up 1 position. My third fabric will be 1 2 3 here. So I'm going to unpick the third seam, which is at the top of the third fabric. Like that. Oh, come on. There we go. Like that. So again, it's all moved up 1 more again. And then my next one is my 4th fabric. So this is where some people get a bit confused, because you're going to go 1, 2, 3. And my 4th fabric is over the corner. There we go. That's number 4. So I'm going to unpick the 4th seam, which is at the top of the 4th fabric. There we go. Like that. And what that does, if I do that, you can see that that's allowed those fabrics to move up one position, which is how that Bargello works. What we're going to do now is we're going to stitch these together. So I'm going to start here on the left. But Bargello, it's all about being organized. Okay, so we're going to put this one right sides together, and we're going to stitch down this side on the right hand side, and I'm just going to nest as I go. Okay, so over we go. We're just going to stitch down again, 1/4 inch all the way down. Now I only use 6 strips in this. You could use 26. You could use 106 if you wanted to. It doesn't matter how many strips you put into your strip set. If you want the way it changes, so you would, instead of counting down, you count up. Instead of doing the top seam, you do the bottom seam, which I'll show you in a second. But you can create really, really beautiful effects very simply. It's a lot easier than it looks. It's not all little tiny bits of fabric. Just iron this one out a second, guys. There we go. Iron this one out like that. There we go. And then come back over here. Okay, so I've stitched that down 1/4 inch and just nested those points as I went. Now I'd already done a little bit, but if I put that in here for you, okay, you can see when you cut narrower strips, you get a much steeper curve. When you cut wider strips, that curve starts to be less steep. It sort of goes out more gently. Okay, so you can see I can add those ones on there like that, and you're getting, because these were like 1 inch and 1/2 inch pieces, and you get a very, very steep bit, and then it goes out much more gentle. Now if I wanted to create that like arch shape on here, so you can see it's going up one way and then back down the other way, you would unpick the opposite direction. So if I just cut another one just over here a second, I just cut a 2 inch, and then let's cut a 1 1/2, just with my dodgy rotary cutter. Like that. This pattern is available on our website. It'll just be in the pattern section. Okay, so I've got that brown one at the top, but I now want the brown one to start coming back down here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there, my brown one there. Okay, and I want that to be in the 2nd position. So instead of unpicking this one at the top, I'm going to move back one, which would be this one here. Okay, because that seam is the same as that seam. So I'm going to move back one. So I'm counting backwards on myself now. And this is where some people do get a little bit confused, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Okay, so we're going to do that one there. And can you see that that's now starting to drop down? So because I unpicked that one this time, I'm going to, on my next one, I want to go back one again. So I'm going to go to there. Oh, and unpick that there. And that one that's on the top goes to the top there. And can you see it's gone up like that, and it's starting to come back down. So you can create really, really interesting patterns with what was essentially a few leftover jelly roll strips. You know, I only put 6 in a row, but you could make this much, much bigger if you wanted to by putting more strips and just counting down so many. And then when you think, oh, I want it to change directions, so start counting back the other way. These make beautiful like little placemats or a sewing machine mat. If you need a mat to go under machine to stop the bounce and everything, it's a really nice way to have a little go at doing a Bargello, a bit of a taster, without you like doing a mega complicated one or anything. So really, really nice and easy to do. And then it's just straight line stitching. With Bargello, I never know which is the right way. I was taught Bargello, so it's stuck in my head now. It really is about being organized and keeping your strips in order and then just counting down your seams and then counting back up depending on how you want it to go. Okay, so just a real little quickie one on that. But these would work seamlessly into these jelly rolls, which are brand new. Okay, we've got Bee Garden and Legendary Love, which are the gold on this is incredible. It really is. I love Ginger Beer anyway, or Ginger Beer anyway, as a designer. I think she's really interesting, does some really gorgeous things. But the gold metallic on this is beautiful. It's really subtle. It's not in your face. It's not gaudy. It's really beautiful. And then this one is the Legendary Love, which is based on the willow pattern. And again, some really interesting colours. The blue on this is, I can't describe how good it is. I really can't, because it's just the most incredible. It looks like you can put your finger in it. It's inky, indigo, cobalt bluey. It's just yummy. Those are brand new, and they are on the website. There are a few of the scrap packs left, both our own and the Moda ones, but not many. You found them all. You found them all already. So there weren't many to start with, to be honest. But yeah, so hopefully both those little demos. I did unpick it. Where's it gone? I unpicked it and put it back together. Okay, so it's now got Marmite on it. But hang on, if I come back,
10 points.
There we go. 10 points to Gryffindor. So that's the little the block, the scrap strip block. Super easy to do. But if you don't want to make it into blocks, you could just keep adding strips. They make, bags for tote bags and stuff like that. Pencil cases that way, nice big fat pencil case, or something like that one where you've got the open wide pencil case too. I think we did that as a free tutorial a little while ago. So yeah, that's it for me, lovely. I kept it brief because I know we're a little over time. But I'm going to go and book my weekend away. I'm going to go and work out when I can actually have a couple of days off work and make my husband book something.
Excellent. Well, I have already dismantled the sewing machine. And
are you still working on endless bobbins?
A disgusting amount of fluff from it. Disgusting amount of fluff.
Oh, it's so satisfying though when you get it open and you get all out. I love it. It is.
Yeah,
one of my favourite jobs to do.
I've got 100 other things I should be doing. But yes, I'm working on an endless bobbin now. Look how happy Sasha is.
Sorry.
Yeah, all good then. All good. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, you guys, for joining us. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, Katrina, up in the corner as well. We are not on next week. We are on the week after. Let me just go and double check who's joining us. Oh, now I can't get my finger on to do the fingerprint to get in. Just double check who we've got.
I know it was supposed to be me, but I think you said something about moving me around.
It's Daisy and Grace, Sarah Payne, and we're swapping Sarah out because Sarah jumped in this weekend when we had somebody who unfortunately couldn't make it. So yeah, hopefully we'll get another one for next weekend. It was only kind of announced on Friday, so we'll fix that and we'll grab somebody else to come in and join us. And we'll see you not this week, but next week on the Secret Sewing Club